I really can't stress enough how incredible the service was here, blowing its competitors out of the water. Hi there, my name is Kevin, and I make honest and to-the-point narrated video tours about hotels and flights all over the world. This is episode 115, and today we're at the elegant and inspired Raffles Hotel Jakarta. The full experience begins in 10 seconds. Welcome to Jakarta, which is the location of the 12th Raffles Hotel, which opened its 173 rooms and suites in 2015. There are currently 17 Raffles hotels around the world, with a further 5 due to open this year, all of which trace their roots back to the original and surely most famous Raffles in Singapore, which opened in 1887. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. But first...
The following video is an honest review of events that actually happened. This video is not sponsored by any travel-related company and is filmed anonymously. This video may include praise for an incredible gado-gado and or disturbing nitpicky dialogue related to dated lighting. Viewer discretion is not advised, it's just the truth. If you suspect that you or someone that you love may have unknowingly been exposed to content with a hidden sponsorship, ask the content creator how much they paid.
If you appreciate authentic content and genuine opinions, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. As always, if you'd like to support the channel in other ways, please check out the video description. A massive thank you in advance. I think artsy is a good way to describe the interiors of the hotel, not just because the entire hotel was designed around the artwork of Indonesian artist Hendra Gunawan, but more specifically, artsy in the sense that they walk a fine line between elegantly vibrant and perhaps abstract kitsch. That same balance also somewhat applies to Gunawan's paintings as well, as he's best known for combining Western painting techniques with traditional Indonesian aesthetics. As we take a look at the writer's bar and their tapas menu, let me admit that my first impression of the hotel, the design of the hotel that I mean, was not that great. The lobby is a statement, especially in Indonesia, and I just felt like, I don't get it. I'm by no means an art connoisseur, and perhaps that's where my impressions came from, but I just felt like the mix of the almost hyper-colorful artwork and the very traditional fixtures didn't mix. It felt forced. Let me say though, it grew on me, and I think that happened because of the commitment to the aesthetic throughout the hotel. I'm talking every room, every corridor, everywhere. I think going over the top, as they've done, is actually what brings the design back down to earth. I love little coincidental transitions. Speaking of earth, let's take a quick look at where we are. As I mentioned in all of my Jakarta videos, I have yet to meaningfully wrap my head around Jakarta's geography, and so like most other hotels in the city, whether or not it's ideally located really depends on what you plan on doing and where you plan on going, since driving is likely how you'll get around and traffic is horrendous. Alright, let's get back to the lobby and a bit more about Raffles, which is part of FRHI, or Fairmont Raffles Hotel International. Previously, its own company that also operated Swiss Hotel. In 2016, Accor Hotels bought the group and has since been expanding its footprint to new corners of the world, with Raffles' first North American property due to open this year in Boston's Back Bay. Let's talk about service for a moment. Raffles is known for their service, and it is delightfully personal but low touch. In a city hotel, what's the difference between high touch and low touch? An example to me of high touch is to imagine that you're walking through the lobby and a member of staff walks up to you as you're passing through, greets you by name, and asks if there's anything that they can do for you. On the left here, we can see one of the not so well designed parts of the lobby, where check-in takes place. As grand as the entrance feels, this feels more cramped than intimate, and the acoustics mean that you're going to hear all of the guest details that are sitting at the next desk and vice versa. We can also see for the first time that all of these murals are made entirely out of hand-cut glass tiles, making them all the more beautiful. Alright, back to high touch versus low touch. So, low touch to me could be exactly the same level of service, but the onus is on the guest to initiate the contact. Perhaps you make eye contact, or walk directly up to a member of staff. They'll still greet you by name, they'll still help you just like they would in a high-touch situation, but it's your choice on how personal the service gets. Next up, we're going to head up to the pool deck. Another beautifully crafted mural sits across from the larger than expected pool, which has a huge variety of seating around it. Unlucky for such a smoggy and cloudy day, but I reckon on a clear day this would look and feel like a true urban resort, with plenty of space to spread out. At the far end, the pool bar is admittedly a bit uninspired, but it's more just of a service bar than a place where you're actually going to be sitting and drinking. If what is more or less a business hotel in the center of Jakarta gets this treatment, my interest is very much piqued to try out a Raffles beach resort. On the opposite end, there is a kids' pool which is semi-covered, and behind the whole pool area is a large garden with paths for walking and multiple Gunawan-inspired sculptures. By the way, I forgot to mention that this whole pool area is on top of the Loti shopping avenue, which affords it so much space. Next up, we're going to head up to my room for this day for a full tour. Up here on the 25th floor, I enjoy the continuation of the artwork framing out each room's door. But my first half criticism comes as we see what is a lot of this orangey blonde wood paneling with lighting that just does it no favors. There's nothing wrong with it per se, but built in 2015, I feel like this hotel was on the very tail end of a period when this style of wood was in style, which does then make the rooms feel a bit more dated than they actually are, despite being in top condition. If you saw my last video at the Four Seasons Jakarta, you'll notice that the rooms here are very similar in layout. This is a standard room, and while it's a bit smaller than the Four Seasons, I do prefer this layout. The windows are larger, ceilings taller, and overall, the quality of furnishing is higher. They say that the way to any content creator's heart is through their stomach, and Raffles certainly got the memo about that. Waiting in the room was a nice handwritten welcome note and some unbelievable oatmeal cookies. Next to those is an iced Americano. Upon checking in, I was offered my choice of a welcome drink to be delivered to the room, and it promptly arrived by the time the staff had finished their explanation of the room features. Raffles has, I think, found a nice balance between QR code usage and actual menus and literature. A well-stocked desk, which is really rare these days, was also available, as well as integrated PowerPoints on the side. Along with the keycards, I also was offered access to digital newspapers. The minibar area was very well stocked with an assortment of glassware, TWG teas, Illy espresso, and some unfortunate plastic bottles of water. On the way into the room, we passed the closet and vanity on the right side, which was well outfitted with plenty of open and closed areas to store baggage and hang clothing. There's also a second entrance to the bathroom in this area. Heading over to the bedroom area now, which can be closed off from the living area with double sliding doors, which really show off the height of the ceilings. Without so much of that wood paneling, the bedroom feels more up-to-date to me with its cool toned grays, creams, and blues. Both sides of the bed also have power points and labeled switches as well. The bedding here is as good as it gets with buttery smooth linens and intricately embroidered accents. Onto the bathroom, which is dominated by a Gunawan piece etched into the marble above the bathtub. The bathtub, I think, not being the best choice that they could have made. The amenities were all impressively Penhaligons. This is a brand that I didn't really know that much about until I first saw them with the Singapore Airlines amenity kits. When giving me a tour of the room, the very kind staff sort of awkwardly noted that the bulk containers, which are cemented to the countertop, were not meant to be taken. I don't know if I have an amenities thief look, actually I probably do, but it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago when I saw the full Penhaligons lineup in Athens and near passed out at the prices, so I suppose he was well within reason. There was a nice and large walk-in shower across from the toilet nook. In addition to the very nice bedding, the towels and robes were also very plush and generally just felt like money. And lastly, we have the view from my room, which overlooks the outdoor areas of the mixed-use development that the Raffles is part of. Next up, let's check out what the dining options are. The primary restaurant here is the Arts Cafe, which is just next to the mall entrance. This was filmed at 6 a.m., so the mall wasn't open yet. The Arts Cafe has a nightly and very impressive buffet on offer, but if I partook in a nightly buffet, the seat on my next flight would surely feel a bit slimmer. So I ordered from their a la carte menu, which is also their 24/7 in-room dining menu. For an all-day 24-hour menu, this is a very impressive mix. Service in the restaurant was so good that I actually started to question if they had mistaken me for someone who was actually important. I think they just wanted to make sure that my experience was as good as that buffet would have been. Included in the buffet were also a variety of small a la carte portions that you could order, which the staff kindly and proactively offered me in between the courses that I ordered. The first offering was a miso fried tofu with bonito flakes and caviar. Here's the current a la carte buffet mix, which is a bit different now. Next up was likely the best gado-gado that I've ever had. When putting the plate down, the server asked me if I wanted extra peanut sauce. I thought he was kidding, as there looked to be a pool of sauce in the middle, and it was, but no, more sauce could certainly be had. Next up was a baby octopus dish, which was actually the bite of the night for me. Lots of delicious smoke from the charcoal grill and tender as ever. Last up was a flavorful beef rendang with all of its usual accompaniments. Because all of that wasn't enough, when I got back to my room, there were 2 madeleines flavored with orange blossom and pistachio, along with a handwritten note from the butler and a literal bedtime story printed out on my turned-down bed. They certainly know how to create an experience here and keep it going. The next morning, since I didn't eat enough the night before, I headed down bright and early for the massive breakfast buffet. Attached to the restaurant is the patisserie, which in the morning serves all of the baked goods and desserts that are part of the buffet spread. The design of the restaurant itself, I'm still on the fence about. My gut feeling tells me that with better lighting temperatures, it would instantly be lifted back into the 21st century, but perhaps mellow yellow is what they were going for. And now, all of the food. First up, a soto ayam station, Indonesian chicken soup essentially, followed by a dim sum steam table, which I'm happy to report had more than just plain buns and shumai, like many buffets have. After that, a roast duck station. I repeat, a roast duck station. Something that I've never seen at a breakfast buffet, and everything is already rolled and ready for you. That station alone earned a full point in this review. Following that was the live cooking station, where you could order all sorts of egg dishes. I'll show you mine in a bit. A large part of the buffet, as you'd expect, was devoted to Western and Indonesian basics. You know what chicken sausage, steamed rice, and stir-fried noodles look like. Don't worry, I'll show you inside the exciting stuff. Some more of that same sambal that I loved from last night, next to a full, and I mean full, congee station spread. And yes, that's a big old bowl of peanut sauce. The Indonesian mains on offer included beef rendang, never a mistake, cassava leaf curry, chicken curry, and one of my new favorite things, green chili fried eggs. Essentially hard-boiled eggs that are then peeled and deep fried and then sautéed with sambal. Alright, hang on, we're not done yet. Plenty of other chilled stations are still waiting. Here is the current live kitchen menu, which differs from when I was there. I sampled an egg and avocado sourdough toast, and of course, eggs Benedict. And yes, I try all of this for you. And science, of course. My only complaint about any of the food at all are these stupid little salt and pepper packets which stick out like a sore thumb in an otherwise near flawless buffet. Last stop is of course to the fitness center, which is nicely sized with some decent views to look at as you work off the 3 kilos of food that you just had. Alright, as we move on to the flip-flop score, what are we thinking? It's near flawless. And really, I'm stretching for any and all nitpicking that I've done throughout the review. I very much look forward to trying out another Raffles, hopefully in the near future. Hopefully, you also look forward to checking out more of my content like this, and will give this video a big thumbs up and turn on notifications. I'll see you at my next stop, the brand spanking new Park Hyatt Jakarta.